This video is going to show you a solar GM with one of the best solar Warlock builds in the game. Just a reminder, make sure you subscribe to be notified, more likely to be notified of videos like this one. So this is one of the best solar builds in the game. There's variations of the solar builds, but I'm going to focus obviously the one I'm showing to you. Let me remind you, there is no solar surge up this week, but it still cooks. It does fantastic damage. It actually destroys the final boss, and it destroys champions, everything in its wake. So the part one's the build portion of the video. Part two will be the actual run itself. So I'm not going to take too long on this, but I'm going to tell you what I used and why I used it. So we want to run a good solar Warlock build, right? Well, we're using Daybreak. I know Song of Flame exists, and I have showcased Song of Flame a lot, but I have not showcased Daybreak in a while. Not in some time, but people who have been around on this channel for quite some time will know that I used to do a lot of Dawn Chorus runs. You should know that, right? Because it was part of the meta. Then it sort of fell out the meta when Song of Flame got introduced, but now it still kind of cooks, right? Especially with all the mods. So we're running Daybreak, Healing Rift, Celestial Fire for a ranged melee rather than Finger Snap. Finger Snap has its uses, but in long range GMs, you're better off with Celestial Fire. All right, I'm just going to say that. Solar Grenade, because just the lingering damage when you pair that with the Aspect Touch of Flame, right? It enhances Solar Grenade so much that I'm recommending to put it on. And then the second aspect, Helion. So Helion, when you cast your Rift, you get a Solar Mortar, and it's very good because you can basically have 100% uptime on Rifts with the following fragments that are going to help it. Let me go through it. Ember of Solace, so that we double Radiant time. We're not running a Restoration build, we're running a damage Solar Warlock build. This is a damage variant of it. It's not about Restoration, but you don't need Restoration in this because you're going to kill everything anyways. You don't need Restoration. Basically, you don't need it. Ember of Ashes, we need this on for more Scorch stacks. This has to go on. It is the fragment to put on for solar damage builds. Ember of Torches for Radiant, so that we get a damage buff when we melee and add, and Solace will double that up. And finally, the final fragment that will surprise you, Ember of Singeing. Ember of Singeing with Helion gives you basically 100% uptime on Helion. Maybe not 100%, 90% because my recovery is a little bit lower than usual. But basically, you're getting rifts back to back to back. But you need a build to Scorch, and that's where we're coming back onto the weapons and everything. First of all, the armor, though. Exotic Helmet Dawn Chorus. It says this: your Daybreak projectiles deal more increased damage and Scorch targets on impact. Your Scorch is improved and you gain a small amount of melee energy when your Scorch damages a target. This is the Scorch Exotic Helmet, which, by the way, you can run it without running Daybreak, but it's icing on top that it enhances Daybreak, so we're going to go right into this exotic and go with Daybreak like I just mentioned to you. Here's the mods on screen. I'm not going to go into the mods too much. Just know that I ran a utility kickstart build. Why? Because we've got Helion on, obviously, so we want more Rifts, right? That's what it's about. So weapons-wise, this is where the common sense needs to come back. Because, yes, we are running a fully fledged solar damage build, but we do need to have a little common sense on champs. So there is no solar area denial GL frame in the game, but if there was, I would have ran it, but there isn't. So basically, area frame GLs are that good. They're too good not to use, especially this one in particular. So I've ran it as a debuff. We want a debuff to enhance Daybreak's damage, because GLs this season debuff enemies. So it enhances my super. So I may as well have it on. A Kinetic Tremor Scout because barrier champs. And Dragon's Breath to finally finish the build off. So Dragon's Breath got fixed. It wasn't working properly for, I would like to say, a few months. I don't know how long it was. The ignition damage thing. They fixed the ignition damage, so Dragon's Breath now works. I mean, it has for a bit now. It now works as it should. And Dragon's Breath is doing really good damage. It always has done good damage. And it does even more this season because of debuff. Because of the artifact concussive reload. I'm not even going to show you my artifact because there's no solar mods on there. I'm just using stock perks on my artifact. I'm not showing you it because people start questioning what I'm running. But that was the build that we ran with this. So let's see the destructive damage that we can now do with this solar build. So I'm going to spawn my skimmer and we're going to skip the harpies and we're going to show you some Helion gameplay and back-to-back rifts. So pay attention to rift energy, right? We're going to kill the goblins to our left because they need to be killed to be basically so kind of safe-ish on dealing with the double overloads like this. Now look at this ignition. One overload's dead, second overload is less than half, a third. And we've got our rift back already. Yeah, there you go, look. So we rifted, got our rift back. We need to deal with the final overload, which will not push. So look at this is the next location. So we are rifting behind two particular rocks. This allows you to be safe enough so that we don't need to kill the harpies, right? Because you know generally I kill harpies, don't I? Obviously this time we're not doing that. So we're just putting in damage with Velocity Baton plus our Dragon's Breath. We've used 3 Dragon's Breath shots. There were 3 champs. That's good ammo economy. We have done that correctly. So now we'll spawn our skimmer and we're going to scan this ghost. So to fight in middle, this is how you do it, right? You want to keep running to keep haste procced. Then you're going to shoot down one of the detain bug things. Now it's RNG which side you get, but whichever Hydra you get first, deal with him in middle by popping a rift, and Dragon's Breath will just about kill a Hydra for you, which that's why we've sort of come away, but he's a kinetic tremor shot away. Hydra is killed. We have super, and that's exactly what we're going to use the super for right now, because we don't need the super for anything in the next 4 or 5 minutes. So we may as well just use it right now here. This saves on ammo, although ammo's not a factor in Inverted Spire, only at the final boss is it a factor, but I'm just saying, look. So now we use super, we've killed the second Hydra, now our goal is just to get to the back of the map, shoot all the ammo crates, not the ammo crates, the boxes, sorry, and that's the first section done. So far, decent, 2 minutes in, yep, super's doing good damage. Obviously I haven't showcased the super off fully yet, but we've only just started. You will see me pop plenty of supers. I get so many Daybreak supers because Daybreak got the ×3 super recharge buff and it got a damage bonus November. I believe it got a damage bonus late November with the ×3 Roman buff. So this super technically got buffed. Dawn Chorus is the same as what it's always been. It's always been the best Scorch exotic in the game, basically, because it enhances so much for you. It enhances anything that does Scorch. So if you do incandescent weapons, Callus Mini Tool, incandescent pulse rifles, 1K voices, anything that does Scorch and ignition, this exotic buffs all of that stuff, which is exclusive to the Warlock. I understand that. So yeah, you can use Dawn Chorus in many different ways. Its neutral game is very good, but so is its super gameplay. So, first room, we're going to do some GL shots plus a solar grenade, which my solar grenades are doing massive amounts of damage because I'm debuffing targets, right? Plus because of the help from Dawn Chorus. So the first champ on the left needs to be taken care of before we start doing any ag clear, because that barrier has a clean shot on you, right? So does the snipers. So take out all the snipers that you can see, then we can do some then we can deal with the barrier down below, because there's a bunch of ads down below. I believe I missed my stun here, so here we go. We go in with Dragon's Breath. We should get our shield break, which we do. He's half HP. Then we go down below. He stuns. He puts his shield up quicker than generally. That was weird. That's fine because we've got a super to waste. We don't need a super for anything right now, so we use it right here just to make up for what just happened there with the barrier. That's fine though. Then we'll just get rid of this super. We don't need super until Riven, basically. Okay, we don't need it for overloads. We don't need it for anything. It's for the Rivens. I want to see what the damage is for Rivens. I've already showed you super damage for champ. Then I show you, this is how I do the video. Then I'll show you damage for Rivens. That's on the final wave of this room. So we've got 7 Dragon's Breath shots, full special, so we're going to start spamming a bit of Dragon's Breath, because remember, you get your ammo back after this room. There are 2 ammo crates in this room. We only need to use one of them. We don't need to use both, because I've got plenty of DB ammo, and it's a time waste to go for this. It's a time waste to go for the heavy brick. Look at my ammo, I don't need to go for it. Okay, so overload phase. We're going to get a rift arm here. The overloads are not pushing, that's fine. We'll get our DB shot in now. Make sure that they're stunned though. Which this one wasn't stunned quick enough, so they were being a little trolly, these double overloads. That's fine though, because they're literally cooked and done by now. Obviously we have super, which that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use super for the Rivens. We're less than 6 minutes in, which is above the average time curve for a solo on this, by the way. That's above average. So far we're doing really good. Apart from the trolley double overloads, we're doing alright. Okay, Riven spawn in. We've got a super to burn. We've got DB ammo. We're going to use that. Which, by the way, people, DB means Dragon's Breath. Just for people who are not native to English speaking, DB means Dragon's Breath. It's just abbreviated to make it easier dialogue. So you super, look at the melt on the Rivens, which these are tanky. Orange bar Rivens are tanky. They're not your general standard mages. We've just melted them quickly with the super. Obviously there's going to be ultra Rivens which have more HP than a major. We'll test it again to see how good it is on those. Which, if you saw my Spectral Blades run, you would have seen that Spectral Blades melts Rivens. If I was to compare right now, Spectral Blades does damage quicker than Dawnblade. But Dawnblade has, like, it's more usable, right? Spectral Blades doesn't have the track and it needs a buff. Daybreak doesn't need any buff. It's absolutely correct on where it is for damage. Because it's assumed that if you're going to run Daybreak, then you would run Dawn Chorus. I know without Dawn Chorus it isn't do the damage, but there's a lot of supers like that in the game. Gathering Storm with Raju's Harness. Golden Gun without Nighthawk. There's all sorts of examples. That's how the game's balanced, people. The game is balanced around you on the assumption that you will run the star exotic for that subclass. Which in this case, the star exotic for Daybreak is Dawn Chorus. It's the benchmark exotic for it. And in this case, unlike G-Wisdom Twist, or Vest, or whatever the damn thing's called, this exotic actually fulfills its role. Now look at this damage. We're going to debuff Radiant. So Dragon's Breath will stun that barrier, because you get barrier rockets. Right, and we've just melted that barrier. No problem. There's a heavy crate down below. There's another one behind me. I don't need to get it though. I just need one of them. So we're just going to use some rockets to quickly clear these snipers. We'll jump down. We'll fill back up on our heavy ammo. Like so. Oh, sniper has survived. How? God knows how he survived that. Let's pick up our ammo crate and then on to double overloads. So for double overloads, we can use super. I don't know if I do or not. I think I do because you can get your super back so quickly. Yeah, I do. There we go. I think I do. Yep. So we use super here. Now, if you didn't know, and I'm not 100% certain on this, I'm 70% certain. I haven't tested it. Some D2 mathematician can give me a little help with this. Daybreak super, if you used a melee, you would reach max stacks with Daybreak. I think that is still the case. So, the optimal way to use Daybreak Super is to Radiant Celestial Fire melee, then pop your super, you'll do more damage. Now a D2 mathematician can confirm this down below with me, because it's a thing I've thought about now. Is that true definitely or not? It used to be true. It used to be true. That used to be the way. You would, because if you don't know, every successive hit you get with Daybreak increases its damage. But I believe if you get a melee hit, it would get max stacks from your first swing. I believe that is the case now. I believe that is still the case. But a D2 mathematician who's got more time than me can quickly confirm it with me and others if this is true or not. I guess you can just watch my video and see if my damage numbers goes up. Because every time I did do a super, especially on the boss, I made sure that I'd done a Celestial Fire to make sure that I get max stacks. That used to be the old mechanic of it on the 2.0. I think it is still now. I should have tested that. I should have known that, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. We still cooked in this. So the double Riven phase, we're gonna opt just to kill one with our guns. Then I'll super the second one because I wasn't confident if Daybreak would kill both. Not because it can't for damage, just that it doesn't last long enough. Right? We would just about kill probably 2 Rivens, looking at the damage though. Just about. If the Rivens behave themselves, yes. Because they do TP, they teleport. It is annoying and they can do that, so you got to be careful. Obviously the tank section is a full skip. I'm sure you should be fully aware of all my strats by now. You know, the champion is a skip. The barrier one in the cardboard box. Yeah, the one in the Metal Gear Solid cardboard box. He's a skip. Right? The tank section is a skip. You should be aware of all inverted spire skips. If you're not, you must be new to the channel. You must be new. And if you are, welcome. The 2 snipers we need to deal with first. The Overlord was being annoying and then he gets back into position. I want the Overlord to group up with the goblins and he has now done that. Now, remember, Dragon's Breath kills you and you don't want to be dying in a GM solo because you will go to orbit. So don't ignite a target right close to you. I would say it's 3 to 4 meters. Do not stand close. When you have DB'd a target, Dragon's Breath to target, you will die to your ignition. So be careful of that. Okay, to deal with barrier champs, you stand on top of their house, Guardian. They've got a hole in their house. It's middle of winter. Below temperature freezing, and these Cabal don't seem to want to make a roof. As a Guardian of 2024, you can take advantage of that and fight them on their house. Which I believe this is actually intentional. Because there never used to be a hole on these houses, Guardian. I know. From 2017 Beta Strike with Inverted Spire, there was no hole on top of these houses. You couldn't do this. So this was part of the rework. So whoever made Inverted Spire, whoever reworked Inverted Spire, made it intentional for you to fight on top of the house. Like, look at this. We're fighting. Boom. We just hover up there like casual. Right, then we can fight on the top and then go back down. So this is the absolute strat. If you're not using a build that's Prismatic Titan and you're not 100% on about capping the plate and you don't want to die to Supplicant, because Supplicants will kill you, make no mistake about it. If you're not on top of Supplicants, they will. So look at this jumping up and down strat. I use it all the time now in all my runs because it's just dead consistent. Okay, we use a super for the Overload. I'm trying to break that diamond box. Unfortunately, there's no tracking. That's unfortunate because I was wanting to do the Cabal plate next, but that's fine. We'll do the Vex plate next. Somebody the other day mentioned about doing all plates at once, solo. I'm going to tell you why you don't do that. So, if you try to open all cap points at once, all you're going to do is have all the ads wander the battlefield. Do not do that. That is so bad. The only time you can do that is in a fire team. So imagine you could coordinate a fire team left, right, middle. Left, right, mid, yeah? That means each Guardian souls their own plate. That's a fire team strat. And absolutely you should be doing that. Especially on people with Guardians who are confident in fire team runs, in GMs. Do that strat. But on a solo, no. You need to consolidate and isolate all ads away from each other. That is always the goal. If you can get ad groupings, then do that. But on the cap point plate, they're not going to group up like you think. And what that's going to do is the Supplicants will kill you because you will lose track of them all. And they'll just chase you and chase you and chase you. And you'll lose time because of it. So don't try and be a smart ass trying to cap all plates at once, opening each plate and all that stuff. Don't bother about any of that. You want to cap each plate one at a time, like this, and spawn kill your stuff. So, we're looking to kill the Overlord. I thought he was about to spawn there, but he didn't. I guess I didn't stand on the plate long enough. This is actually unfortunate, and I don't know why, but the Overlord does not get Let's watch the footage. Ah, yeah. He's slightly standing outside of that pool of GL. So yeah, we were slightly wrong there with our GL shots. So I was too eager with the with my GL. I didn't spread it out enough. So yeah, that was not the game's fault. That actually was mine. But that's fine. Literally, we're capping the player anyway as we kill him. So there's no issue with that at all. We didn't die to him. So final plate, ammo check. Look at the ammo. Look at how good this run is for ammo capacity. It's so good because let's look at it. Aerial LGLs are the most ammo conservative weapons special wise in the game. Literally. Because they're a baby Witherhorde. They would be. We all know how good Witherhorde is for ammo capacity. Well, special GLs, Waveframe ones in particular, are just the same. Just the same, as good as that. So that's ammo economy. And DB is as well. Because yeah, it only has 10 rockets. But do you realise how much damage you get out of just one rocket? This is basically anarchy in rocket launcher form. So yeah, DB's back on the menu, so make sure that you start using it again, because I see people have been turned off by it. It's because of the ignition bug, and Bungie didn't fix it for ages, and that's exactly why people have come out of the rotation of using DB. But you should probably get back into the rotation because ignition's fixed. So that first melt, that was incredible, right? Very good. Now compare that to the other day. Try and envisage the other day of me using spec blades if you watch that run, and compare the two clips. They're similar. That means a Star Eater skill spec blades can kind of compete with a Daybreak Super on grounded enemies. But when it comes to the final boss, spec blades lost, didn't it? If you watched the run, you would have seen it. Whereas on this one, absolutely not. Daybreak absolutely does damage, really good damage, and there's no hit reg issues with Daybreak. That's its strength. I don't see any weakness with this build. The only weakness I see is that it's not on Prismatic. It's not on Prismatic. So that is the only weakness, if you can call it that. But don't worry, Prismatic's getting nerfed anyways next year, 2025. Why? Because if there's something new coming out 2025, they'll nerf Prismatic so that you use the new stuff. Make no mistake, be prepared, Prismatic warriors. I love Prismatic too, to a degree. But I don't just love Prismatic, I love all the elements, and I try to play all of them. And you should too. You should not be pigeonholing yourself into Prismatic for 12 months. I think it's unhealthy. I think it's unhealthy, and I think if you're somebody who complains about Destiny 2 and only plays Prismatic, I think you're hypocritical. So just be careful about that. I do think you're a bit of a hypocrite if you are doing that. You know, play a variety of stuff. Play a variety of stuff, definitely. Just because we've got Prismatic does not mean single element builds are now gone forever out of the game. Single element builds still have some things that Prismatic do not have. Some of the supers are not accessible on Prismatic. Are we all aware of this? A dude to me the other day said, use spec blades on Prismatic. Spectral blades isn't on Prismatic. Can't use it. See what I'm saying? Chaos Reach. Chaos Reach ain't on no Prismatic. So there's only one build in the game that can do that. That's Geomag Stabilizers, Arc Warlock, Chaos Reach. Ain't no Prismatic doing that damage. And there might be a particular reason why you need it. Now this Bane was being hella annoying. Luckily DB come into the win and I got rid of him. That's an example of, people have asked me, it's actually a common theme now, people are asking me how to deal with drains. It's simple. You need to prioritize them for damage. If you see one spawn, make sure you've got cover. Number one, left, right. Have you got, can you strafe? Are you within cover 2 seconds? Can you strafe 1 to 2 seconds to the left or right to avoid a drain? If the answer is no, you're not fighting in the right place. Get it? Now look at where I'm standing. I'm using the cover that Bungie provided me here on the left. I'm rifting behind cover. The cover isn't there for just no reason, folks. It's there for something. Use it. Right? So that's the biggest tip. Have your cover left and right. Do your basics. Have that there, then focus down the drain with the heavy. Do not primary a bane unless you know and what you're doing and you're controlling them. So if you are using this loadout, get a DB shot on that drain bane right away. If it's a healing bane, same thing, because healing banes are bad as well. Shock banes can be more easily controlled. Meteor banes can be easily controlled, you know, all that stuff. So this is very unfortunate. We actually got detained in our super on the bridge. I've never had that happen to me. I guess I was a little bit sleepy with the supplicant phase. But we survived. Luckily, my scout done enough damage to get out of that bubble before the supplicant would destroy us. Anyways, we're going to rift behind this cover again. So you can see I'm using this cover rather than wandering the map you know, for no reason. I'm actually picking a place and doing like a solar lockdown build type thing. Look at rift energy. Left hand side. There we go. Look, rift's back. Rift is back. Boom, rift again. See how good Ember of Singeing is with this? Now don't be telling me to run Ember of Eruption Guardian, because if you do, I'll tell you off for it. Because I don't need it. I need more survivability in the kit. We've got all the damage in the world. All the damage in the world. We've got Ember of Ashes, we've got Dawn Chorus, we've got debuff by GL, we've got DB for extra ignition damage. So that's when we stop speccing for damage at that point, right? It's like adding surges to our boots in GMs. We don't really need to do that. What we want is orb kit. We want recoup and innovation for grenade energy so that we can keep spamming solar grenade back to back. That is better than running a surge in this use case for GM, because surges can't be taken advantage of as much because they're on a timer. GMs is all about long combatant sections. By the time you get your surges, everything's dead anyways, and it ultimately doesn't always mean that you're going to save that much ammo off using a surge build in a GM. You know, you have saw me run surges, and sometimes I will in use cases, but in this case I didn't need to, right? We've got all the damage we need. We wanted to build into the attrition orbs. Yeah, we've got attrition orbs velocity baton on. We are generating 100 to 200 orbs per strike now. We need to look at orb perks on your boots. They are so important now. So if I wasn't using velocity baton, alright, maybe we start to consider a surge mod in the boots. But we're not. We're using velocity baton. So we need a good neutral game, because we need to also buff the neutral game of Daybreak. And it does have neutral game. I've showed you it. Helion, rift to rift, back to back. That's its neutral game. Now I know people don't like neutral games that revolve around rifts that much. But look, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being effective and standing in a rift and locking down a zone? Why is it that everyone has to be a wild man around the map doing prismatic things? Why? Why are we not allowed to use a lockdown build in a game that meant to promote diversity of different styles of builds? So you've got your lockdown builds, you've got your aggressive builds, you've got your glass cannon builds, kind of Nighthawk type thing, because, you know, with Nighthawk, you know, you haven't got good neutral game, but it is on prismatic, I guess. So I'm just saying, look, this is a lockdown style build with super built into it, damage super, that is, and that's what it's about. So this section's all a skip, really. Well, we're not skipping the champ, but you know what I'm saying. We're just going to go through this section, you know, zoom through it, spam ammo, because we have a banner to put in. I have missed a couple of crates in this, but it doesn't matter. For those that haven't watched it, I've already showed you every single secret ammo crate in this. There are 8 total, and there's one above my head right now. All the way in the sky, there's one. If for those who not many people saw that video, I don't know why. Maybe the algorithm didn't like it, but yeah. If you don't know where all the 8 ammo crates are, then watch that previous video I made. But to be honest, you don't need 8 ammo crates in this. Technically, you need, let's count them up. You need one in the first room. You kind of need that one next to the barrier. 2, you need that one at the 3 crates. 3 crates out of the 8 you technically need. You don't need no more than that. 3 crates and a banner. That's exactly what you need. Like, look, we're spamming our ammo first, then we'll banner. Get rid of the harpies, then banner, right? Ammo efficient, and they might drop a brick. You never know, they might drop a brick. And if they do, you can strategize that ammo brick for plate 2. I don't think that happened. No, it didn't. So here we go. DPS. DPS explained. Rift down. 2 GL shots. And a nade. We use Celestial Fire. Then we get max stacks with Daybreak. I think we are hitting max stacks. So I think that's right with the Celestial Fire thing. You increase your DPS if you melee, then Daybreak. Right? Because then the stacks are max from the first swing. Do you get it? Look at the damage. Look at the damage. The damage that we dealt there, that is very impressive. Okay, that's very good. That's a combination of Super and Helion. Now, this is good because it's spawned in all the harpies, so they are going to be susceptible to what? Ignition damage. So we can take advantage of DB. We can take advantage of Helion. Look, we've got our Rift back. Kind of crazy. You know, I think Helion, it might be one of the ways to do your Solar Vesper DPS for the Puppeteer, for the Farmer Boss. It will be a way of getting your Rift back over and over and over. There is ways and means by using Phoenix Dive and stuff like that, you can. But yeah, this is a variation of that build, basically, because we've slightly changed things, because we'd rather have a Rift in this rather than a Phoenix Dive. Why? Because we're rifting behind cover. And that is more important to me than Phoenix Diving. Yeah, because we're not on a restoration. We're all in for damage. We haven't even picked Healing Nade. We haven't even picked a solar weapon. We're all in for damage, damage, damage. That's what this is about. Damage and buffing the neutral game up a little bit with orb mods and stuff. That's literally what it is. Boss is done. Plate 1 achieved. We didn't use any more DB ammo because we want to limit that just in case we don't get any DB ammo. But we did. But it's RNG, Guardian, on the ammo that you get in this. I've already seen how bad it can be. Here we go. So here's the party trick. The party trick. This is going to be a solo 2-plate right away. So we get DB ammo down first. We've got a Rift down. We do our Celestial Fire and a debuff. And look at the damage. Bottom of your screen, look at the damage. That is cooking. Look at the damage. Then we get our Rift. That's what's so good about this. You get a Rift after a Super. Then we can DB ammo again. Then we can do Velocity Baton damage. And look, it's killing all the adds. And we're getting Super back. We're spamming our special because we need to commit to damage. That means we're not going to do any damage to the adds. If the plate sends you, be careful. That can wipe you, actually. Be very, very careful about that. It's a bug. It should not be doing that, but it does. We'll get another DB shot down on the Bane. Well, it might be a Bane. Is it? Yeah, it's always a Bane. Mines. And bear in mind as well, Banes are tankier. They're not orange bars. They have more health. A Bane has more health than its counterpart. Are we all aware of this? This was very close because we had mines down. This is one of the only occasions where a mines nearly killed me. Look at that. We've done good movement though. That's good movement, but it's also a fact of the mines nearly messed me up. That was a set of unfortunate circumstance. But we had the good movement with haste to stay alive. I know that I was going to rift. It was just where I was going to rift. Rift behind a pillar. Boom. We're back in the fight. As easy as that. It was a little bit, you know, we might die there. We might not. But that's an extra skill set in itself where you can recognize in a run, are you 5 seconds away from death? And that's exactly what my brain told me when I was doing this. It's a reaction, right? I actively react to a situation like that without thinking about it, right? It sort of turns on. That skill was learned from a long time ago in Leviathan for the solo. For Callus solo. That's when I learned that skill set of managing your health recov in Destiny 2. That's when I learned it. 2000. Wait, what year was it? What year did I solo Callus? I think it might have been 2000 and I don't know if it was 18 or 19. I can't mind what year it was now. I guess it was maybe 2018 late. It was whenever we had Recluse and stuff. It was during them days. But yeah, I'm just saying, micromanage your HP, right? One eye on your health, one eye on your gun. If you can do that, you'll be cross-eyed, but you know what I'm saying. You need to really micromanage and dial in on your concentration and focus for your health when you are weak and your shields are broken. It is the game even gives you that, the attention by audio cues, and you know, you get the audio cue, your HP shield has been broken. You need to pay attention to movement. You need to go into ultra precise movement mode at that point. Manage your HP pool, go to cover, find somewhere to rift. Don't rift ever in the middle of the battlefield on a Warlock. In GMs, you will die as you rift. Right, well, not these days, but it can still happen. So always rift behind cover. You need cover. Use it to your advantage. So here, look at this damage. We don't want to break the boss's head off. We just want to do enough damage before the letter P, because if we do that, we will spawn in all damage waves of enemies. That would be wrong if we do that, because fanatics will spawn in, and I didn't want that to happen, because the boss will be enraged and everything. This gives us respite to build up a super for final phase. Now, we've got a Helion Dam, which it's helping us out with the ads. We're using Kinetic Tremors as a way to deal with these harpies still, which it is doing a good job. For the fact that it's not an arc weapon, it's taken the harpies very well. Now, they're making orbs, because I've got curative orbs on the artifact. So I'm going to pick up those orbs because I get innovation because of my solar grenade, and I get armor charges because of utility kickstart. See, so we've got everything built in around the orbs. Make no mistake, we are in a orb meta now. We are officially in that, because I officially said it. We're in an orb generating meta, right? And I think it's a good meta because we've never really had it properly. An orb generating meta has never been a thing properly. Yeah, not really. But whereas now with attrition orbs, because attrition orbs isn't just on velocity baton, don't make the mistake, it's on loads of guns. Pay attention to attrition orb weapons. Pay attention to what they drop on and think about how that weapon could be good to you. There's many of them. So just pay attention to attrition orb guns and store them in your vault, because there's no indication that Bungie's going to nerf attrition orbs at the minute. They may on velocity baton, but not on other weapons. Get it? So you might be worth having that SMG with attrition orbs and keeping it. But anyways, we're on the final phase. We've done a good job with the fanatics. We'll super now with a debuff. Right, and let's see the amount of damage. The boss is freaking out because of ignition damage. He never does that. That was so weird at the end there. But yeah, we had lots of DB ammo on final play. Made it very easy. This was a very, very easy clear. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.